Well, a while ago I just did a video on can you trust your monitors? And although the results were pretty good, there was an issue if you took my demonstration results of my monitors and you actually play it through a small device like a phone or a tablet or something like that. Because of the left-right anomalies going on, it sounded particularly weird on those devices. It wasn't impressive at all. And I've subsequently figured out the cause of that, and it's simply just a time or phasing in terms of time delay issue. So basically the left and right channels are out of alignment in terms of timing. So if you actually realign it, it completely alters that quite substantially. Like this was the original for the Dizzy case. So you can definitely hear there's a weird phasing issue there. But then when I've actually corrected it in the DAW, what it ends up being is, if I find the right one, where is it? So this is exactly the same recorded material, but I've just time aligned the left and right channels so that they match. So there you have it. The stereo imaging there much closer matches the original now that I've put in that time alignment. Not only that, if I then do my assessment of what the inverse frequency response would be for my room and my setup by doing matching, again, do it twice. I'll just illustrate that they now pretty much lie one on top of the other. And the frequency response required to do that is that, basically. And if you take into account the fact that this microphone that I used to actually do it would have a cutoff of around about 20 hertz. Not exactly whether it's 20 hertz or 25 hertz, which would mean that it's nominally like 3 dB down at 20 hertz. It means what's at this low frequency end is going to be, if you took out the droop, the natural droop in the bottom end from that low frequency cutoff, would actually generate something very similar to this trend line here, which is showing a rise to compensate for it. So it seems pretty likely to me that this rising pattern here at the bottom end is not a deficiency of the deficiency of the loudspeakers. It's a deficiency of the microphone that's picking it up. This one, because that's its low frequency cutoff characteristic. Wrong word, characteristic. So then, if you actually detrended that and made it look nominally flat, which it actually is, which I've actually confirmed as well using a more accurate microphone, the measurement microphone, the small diameter, whatever it is, it's about 10 millimeter diameter measurement microphone. With that, I've confirmed that it is nominally flat, and that microphone has a 3 dB cutoff, if I remember correctly, of 5 Hertz rather than 20 Hertz, which is why it reproduces the bass more accurately. So yeah, for argument's sake, if I detrended that and you look at this deviation pattern in the top end, it's now looking, rather than plus minus, I think what I said last time, plus minus 6 dB or 5 dB, it's much more akin to plus minus 3 dB in terms of the variation across the frequency response, which is very respectable as far as I'm concerned. It's probably about the best you can hope to achieve in a room of this size. And yeah, if I do the same for the other example that I did, which was the Squonk track by Genesis, so I'll open that one as well. No, I don't want to save that. So that was the original, but this is the time-aligned version. And the reference should be in my history. Let's have a look. Yes, there it is. Again, I'll play this for you. So again, very respectable reproduction of that track. And do the same check on the frequency response to see if it illustrates the same trend as the Dizzy track, and I'm pretty sure it shall show up almost identical results. Again, we look, see they're pretty much entirely overlaying one another. And it's exactly the same trend. Well, not exactly. There's minor differences, but you can expect that there will be slight differences because the reason why you would get slight differences between the two is because music is not a completely solid spectrum. It's concentrated in various frequencies, and depending on the musical content, obviously the frequencies that it gets concentrated in either track is going to be different. And then that, coupled with how the resonances of the room behave, means you're going to get slight variations between the two implied frequency responses by inverse frequency responses by doing that matching. So, but again, if I detrend this bass end here and make it flat, because most of that lift there is not actually the loudspeaker, but is actually the microphone picking it up. Again, we're looking at an envelope of plus minus 3 dB in terms of variation with a nominally flat trend, which is essentially what I hear. What I've always judged these loudspeakers to be is tonally neutral. They're very tonally neutral, what the loudspeakers combined with my listening environment. So anyway, that's just a quick update on that video to point out the cause of the issue. And if you play these versions back through a phone or a tablet device, you'll hear that it sounds much, much better than the previous one, which sounded horribly phased because of that phasing anomaly and the proximity of the drivers on stereo drivers, or whether it gets monoed out on a device, whether it's a mono speaker or a stereo speaker. If it's either way, because of the proximity of the drivers, that phasing interference crops up very readily on those devices, so you don't actually hear the quality of the sound reproduction. Whereas now that it's time aligned, it's become very apparent that, yeah, it's a very good monitoring setup at the moment. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.